known by many names. Karmic Dynasty is here, and you are now watching Crumb TV.
Brother Red Pill representing Know the Ledge, one half of the Twin Pillars. I am here rocking with Crumb TV.
Now you are watching Crumb TV.
You can find me on Crumb TV.
You can catch me on Crumb TV.
This is Chief Kalanago here at Crumb TV.
I am Joy Allen of the Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty in the Crumb TV studio.
Honored to be on your program, brother.
Peace.
Peace.
Crumb TV.
Peace again and welcome to Crumb TV, everyone. We are going to be talking about some fraud today. And let me get this title here. Fraud alert, Pastor Pork Chop and PPP loan. So before we get started, I'm going to acknowledge the first responders. And we have, this person was actually here at 9:37 a.m. And Bernard and Tish Franklin says, keep dropping that fire power. I enjoy your information and the guests you bring on the platform. From Atlanta, live in Washington State, and love the fact that you are consistent about your scholarship. Ancestors Jean is here, speaking peace from YouTube. These are all the YouTube first responders right now. And we also have Grand Rising from YouTube as well. Give me a few moments because we are also streaming live on Facebook on Crumb TV business page. And let me see if some first responders are there yet because we can't see their comments. And yeah, they are here. So I'm going to share their comments here. Few moments. Okay. So we have Shalom from Rael Sankofa. Shalom. And Gregory Fennell speaks peace. And Leonard Lassiter Bay says, greetings, royals. So again, we're talking about this Pastor Pork Chop and this PPP loan, which seems to be very popular. Oh, it seems to be a big question. And I know from my business experience, I get a lot of, hold on, let me back up. I'm backing up. All right. So this is how the topic came to the platform today. I got a call from our humble brother Crumb. And with that being said, right quick, I'm also streaming on my platforms, a few of them, and the Karmic Dynasty on YouTube. You notice the brand, the change. So I'm rebranding right now, my platform and my position on social media. So there's going to be some changes. There's going to be a lot of movement. I project you will see from me. So be prepared for that. So either way, my background, I have my own tax business. So I have tax knowledge. And so Brother Crumb says that I have my financial expertise to lend to the platform. So I said, sure, Brother Crumb, what you got? So he mentioned the PPP loan and this article. And he was like, I know you don't watch TV. And I'm like, no, I don't watch TV, Brother Crumb. So what you got? And he was like, well, this guy, and he got this PPP loan, and he's facing time in jail. And I was like, okay, what did he do? What's the loan? How he mentioned something, he stole it. I'm like, can't steal a loan. They give you a loan. That's paraphrasing, but I'm saying to Brother Crumb, can't steal, they give you that. So in further conversation, he mentioned tax return fraud. So the guy filed some fraudulent tax returns. I said, oh, now you got a problem. Now that's where the problem is at. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to cover this Pastor Pork Chop guy, and I'm going to speak to everyone about this loan in brief, and also about filing taxes. In regards to when you submit a PPP loan, there are just some things you don't do. And today we're going to use Pastor Pork Chop as an example of what not to do. You don't want a Fed case. And if you do, we're not even going to tell you how to get one today. Just don't follow Pastor Pork Chop. So anyway, I'm going to read this article, and we're going to go ahead and talk about him. And I share with Brother Crumb also that I am in the midst of audit season with my clients. So discussing things to file and what not to file, that's easy to do today. Easy to do. So we have this article, and when I was looking, told Brother Chrome I would check in on this. So I did. Looking in articles, most of the articles were all religious, like Christianity.com type stuff. So I picked a few articles because I thought the names was cool, funny, hilarious, amusing, however you want to entertain yourself today. So the Friendly Atheist reads like this. DC pastor charged with 3.5 million PPP loan fraud. Okay, y'all, these pastors, number one, somewhere, first of all, the word pastor tells you what type of religious background we dealing with here, possibly. And I know somewhere in their teachings it says, thou shalt not steal. Always an example for their community, huh? Let's roll with this article. All right. And this was written April 18th, 2021. Last month, federal investigators filed wire fraud charges against Randolph Brooks Jr. They also took away his Tesla Model 3. They also took back $2.2 million that Brooks had placed in different bank accounts. So the loan was big enough, large enough to where he had $2.2 million to put in some bank accounts. And there's more, so we're going to talk about this. But I know people who's getting PPP loans, and they're not in the millions of dollars. So let's see what he did. Let's continue to read about him. Brooks allegedly obtained all this money by defrauding the government via the PPP protection program. Hold on, I said all that wrong. Via the Paycheck Protection Program, the 3 Ps. He used to own a business in Maryland called Cars Direct, which bought and sold cars. Okay, it's bought and sold, which went defunct in 2012, and then it magically came back to life in May of 2020. All right, so first thing, you have a business. It's been no activity for 8 years. So that means there were no tax returns filed. There's no history of tax returns. What I'm going to say for compliance, due to compliance, this is what I'm going to say. You have a business and you don't have any activity. And you may one day want to file, claim some money, do whatever, especially with this being a lesson. And we see how the government will pop up one day and just give you some more money. And it's business related. You have a business. You've had no activity. I would strongly suggest that you file some tax returns. They can be 0 tax returns. You can file a tax return and have 0 on it and sign it. And then you have at least some compliance, some history of filing with the IRS. Now, I'm going to hold back because we're going to go into this article. And let's see here. So the affidavit alleges that on May 9, 2020, Brooks applied for a PPP loan on behalf of Cars Direct in the amount of $1 million. This one, hold on, he had a couple. Okay, he applied for the loan. He had 2.2 million he put in different accounts. Okay, I don't know where the extra money come from. Let's see if they talk about it. In support of the Cars Direct PPP loan application, Brooks allegedly submitted fraudulent tax returns, which allegedly reported $469,000 in payments, 724, via forms 1099 miscellaneous, and $7,471,630 in total unemployment payments to employees from Cars Direct. This man got a lot of stuff going on. I am looking for allegedly submitted fraudulent tax returns. Okay. Okay, I was gonna say I reviewed this article, and this is what I was looking for. It's here. However, as detailed in the affidavit, IRS records do not reflect any tax filings made by Cars Direct for any tax period. Let me share this. Let me look at the comments and see what's going on. Let me share this with y'all right quick. When you, how I'm gonna say this? The federal government, the hands wash each other. They might not let you know about it. They might play dumb, but the hands wash each other. The hands wash each other. So if you're applying for a federal loan, like most common student loans, people who file student loans, people who get student loans know that there's a section where you report tax information. So there's the two federal hands washing each other. Now, if you didn't know, I'm going to tell you today, you filing anything federal and it asks you for tax information, you best believe, you best know that they are going to be comparing records with the IRS. Now, they might not be on it right then, but there's these things called audits, and it'll come back around. There's this thing called people doing their job timely. They don't do that. They'll push the paperwork through. They'll give you the money. It happens all the time. I had a broadcast I did a while back with Brother Crumb last year, actually in July, and we talked about this. The IRS will, let's say, for example, this year, you file your tax return. They give you your refund. You're going to get your refund. They'll give you a refund. Now, this was going to happen based on the system and the process, and we dealing with things like the human factor also. 3 years later, you get a letter that you had income you did not report. I got a client right now. I'm working on this with him. He got a W-2. He forgot. And he is he's filing this year. He filed his return. He was like, hold on, them people took my refund money. They sent me a letter. I know I gotta pay them for 2018, but this is my refund for 2020. They took it, they gonna take it. He was like, well, wow, they could at least let me know that they gonna take my refund. They could at least let me know they gonna take my refund before, when they sent the letter and told me about the money, the income I didn't file. I told him in the IRS procedures, that's where, because it's a notice. So whether you read the notices and you're aware of them or not, the IRS put it in the notice. That was your notification. Also, for the record, I gave him the offset phone number. I mentioned it in broadcast prior. The offset telephone number is a toll-free number. It's 24 hours. They change the hours up sometimes, but it's automated. You ain't got to talk to nobody. The phone number you can share with everybody. It's a public phone number. You know, Rael Sankofa can use it. Shakita can use it. Corzel can use it. Call the number. See if your refund gonna be offset. And if so, make preparations. Make a plan, an arrangement, payment arrangement with whoever you would owe the money to. Get all that straight before you file. And then you file and you'll get your refund. That's how that works. So getting back to things, just to let you all know, if you file any paperwork and they happen to mention tax return, it's federal. You got a federal loan. They want federal tax return information. The hands wash each other. Don't say you filed tax returns and you didn't file no tax returns. They gonna come back later and want that money, like with this guy right here, Pastor Pork Chop. They gonna want the money back, and they gonna get it. They gonna get it in some manner. Like with him, they went in the bank account and took the money back. He got some more stuff he got and they took it back. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna look at it. And also, it's not just federal level. People who have had child support issues, child support is state level. People who have like back taxes they owe the state, that's state level. And people who had the issues know good and well what I'm saying right now is real. The federal government will take your federal refund and apply it to your state obligations, period. So federal wash hands, federal state wash hands do not apply for PPP loan and say you filed a tax return and you didn't. You'll get the money like Pastor Pork Chop did, but they're going to come back and get you. They're going to get theirs. It's going to happen. And if not, oh, you're going to be happy because you slid through. Go ahead and keep sliding. Go ahead, keep sliding. Either way, back to this article. Let's see here. Let me take down this banner so we can read in peace. However, as detailed in the affidavit, okay, got that part. Okay, IRS records do not reflect any tax filings, indicating that Cars Direct has not hired employees or paid unemployment taxes. So this guy claims he must have, because for you to file unemployment payments to employees, that means you have employees. Who you filing unemployment payments to for? So that's misinformation. So another strike, this guy gonna get it. And that's one right there. And made up a number. People make up numbers. Let's see. And unemployment taxes. And unemployment taxes is state level. So he could possibly be facing some issues with the state as well. The state come for him as well, possibly. Depending on how much paperwork he found and what he claiming, but that's all stuff in his file that him and his so-called accountant know about. This guy, the only thing, the only advice I have for this Pastor Pork Chop is that you get an actual accountant. Your cousin and them, that ain't no accountant. I'm also going to say for the record, if it's a CPA, don't think just because CPA behind them people's names that they know what they're doing with your paperwork. They don't. Or because somebody got a degree. They don't. If they don't specialize in tax, don't trust, don't go for it. I mean, you can. You can. And I'm not even going to say it's the accountant, because first, in this case, but just for advice, dude, need to get him an actual accountant. Because regardless of what the accountant filed, Pastor Pork Chop filed this loan application. And Pastor Pork Chop knew good and well he didn't file no tax returns. Because if he had filed them, he would have signed them. He didn't put no signature on no tax returns. And if he did, that's between him and his accountant. I ain't even going into all that. We're going to keep moving here. Keep it moving. Next. Yeah, he might have state issues too. Next. Additionally, the Maryland Department of Labor has no record of Cars Direct paying wages or of Brooks receiving wages. What? Hold on. They have no record of Cars Direct paying wages or of Brooks receiving wages. Okay. He's not employed, so he probably wouldn't receive wages. He's self-employed, so he'd be getting business, that income, not wages. Let's see. Beginning May 22nd, Brooks used PPP loans from the car's direct account and his own personal account to purchase 39 used automobiles under the terms of the PPP loan program. The purchase of these vehicles is not an appropriate use of loan funds. All right, this guy purchased 39 automobiles. And so the purchase of these vehicles is not an appropriate use of loan funds. So apparently the example, the record here is they're saying you can't buy vehicles. You can't buy 39 of them. Either way, let's go on in here. In addition, let me take this banner down. Okay. In addition, seizure warrants authorize the seizure of up to, there go the $2 million number, even from 2 million plus. I don't, okay. Okay. Because I'm looking, these numbers ain't adding up. If I'm reading too fast and or doing some other stuff, because he applied for the loan in this amount. Anyway, maybe that on it. Either way. Moving forward. And the Tesla, okay. The affidavit in support of the seizure alleges that these funds and vehicle constitute or are derived from the proceeds traceable to false statements made on bank loan application. Shady stuff. Brooks now faces up to 20 years in prison. That's going to be very awkward for this church. So this is Mr. Brooks right here. And we're going to assume he's in matching colors with his church. This is church. So they now got to figure out what they going to do. The assistant pastor stand up. Somebody stand up and lead these people where they want to be led, because right now they want to be led by this guy who is committing fraud charges. And you know what? When it comes to, I'm not even going to go into that. Because who are he saying his employees are? You know what I mean? When it comes to facing charges like this, they're going to be asking you questions like, who are the people that you paid? Who are these people he supposedly paid? Because, that's if he going to fight it. I don't know what his position is with his case, who he lawyering up with, but, he don't have a case. If he has a case, he going to have to, he don't have a case. He got a lot of work to do. And it starts by fessing up, going to the altar, getting that blessed olive oil on his head, somebody praying for him, and trying to make it all right. This is not going to be all right. It's not all right. It's past all right. It's beyond all right. Oh man. Okay. Either way, I don't know about this guy. To me, this whole story is ridiculous. So I am here to assist people, whoever want to know what not to do, because apparently people like him think this is what to do. So if you one of them people and you think this is what's to do, don't do it. And if you want to do it, then you're going to be looking like him. Period. I don't have too much to say about this guy, Pastor Porkchop. According to the Daily Beast, Brooks is the founder and senior pastor of Kingdom Tabernacle of Restoration Ministries, Inc., which still has this bio on his website. This pastor, he desires to see believers grow spiritually and desires to see this church function according to the word of the Lord. His intense love for the Lord, relentless spirit and ability to tap into the very heart of God make him a memorable speaker. With his love for God and lively preaching style, which can hold even the skeptic's attention. Conviction, compassion, conviction. Thou shalt not steal. Okay, and if you do, that's a sin. According to them, that's a sin. Thou shalt not steal. So, he's reaping what he has sown. Reaping what he has sown. Anyway, let's see. Some here about Tesla. I'm reading as we go, y'all. All things Tesla website. Okay. While accelerating, the transition to sustainable energy is undoubtedly the main interest. Getting to the point. Buying an all-electric car through a fraudulent manner of actions is not ideal for helping the environment. Okay. All right, so that's that article. There was one more article I looked at. We're going to look at that because each article says something different. So you know how the media is. And we going here. Pastor fraudulently got 1.5 million in these loans, splurged 39 cars, including Tesla. So again, this is Pastor Rudolph E. Brooks. And we're going to see what else he got going on here. All right, so this is in Washington, D.C. He's now facing up to 20 years in prison after he was arrested for fraudulently obtaining more than $1.5 million from the program. He then splurged on personal expenses, including 39 cars. Released from the department said he was arrested earlier this month by federal authorities who seized the 2.2 million, accused of purchasing luxury cars. Okay, so the other article talked about the cars. This article tells you the cars. There's a 2017 Mercedes-Benz, 2017 Infiniti, 2015 Cadillac Escalade, and a 2005 Bentley Continental, and a 2014 GMC Yukon, and several older model luxury cars, which are not considered, let me get this up here, which are not considered an appropriate use of funds acquired from the federal government's multi-billion-dollar coronavirus relief program for small businesses. Okay, now, right quick, we're going to talk about something right quick, because Brother Crumb, when in general he was asking me about cars and reporting cars on tax returns, you can buy vehicles for business use. There's plenty of businesses that have vehicles. We know it. Some of us ride in them, like Uber, not Uber and Lyft, but the taxi companies, the bus companies. You can do that. There's ways to do it. There's all kind of course, ins and outs of what to file and when. So be mindful of that. You have a question, not I see you, Kite Creatures. If you have a question, Kite Creatures, you can ask your question. And peace to you. Peace. You have a question, go to irs.gov. There are publications that will tell you what expenses in relation to your vehicle you can write off, and what you cannot, you should not. Some things just are they're going to trigger an audit. So then you got to deal with an audit. Yeah, PPP loan is good for people with real business. Yeah, thank you, Hot Writable from YouTube. That was not implied if I didn't say it outright. Yeah, real business. Goodness, people, fraudulent. Don't do the fraud stuff. If you don't have a business, don't be doing this stuff. Yeah, they'll give you the money, but yeah, you're gonna have to probably look at it later. The consequences. I don't have too much to say. I have my own tax business. I've had it since 2009. Before that, I worked at H&R Block, tax professional, manager, Indiana Department of Revenue. I worked at the IRS, and to me, having to tell people, and I appreciate you again for this information, to have a real business when you file, it's like, duh, yeah, hell. Miracle Water. Kai Creators will talk on the side about Miracle Water. I got you. We'll talk after this broadcast. I'm speechless. Y'all know when I get up here, I got plenty to say. Known for busting up all lies. Just the word real. If it don't exist, what are you filing? You going in knowing that you're gonna probably get in trouble. That's just how stuff go. He filing 1099s. You file a 1099. No, all he did was filled out some paperwork. Filing a 1099 means it goes to the IRS. And they already said he didn't file any paperwork. So he didn't file any 1099s. He filled them out. He filled them out. Somebody filled them out in his business name. That's not cool. And these days, it had to been old because 1099 miscellaneous for that purpose don't even exist no more. You need a 1099 NEC these days. And we aren't business via biz, straw man debt. Okay, social security number 9 EI. Okay, maybe you talk to somebody in the comments. Let's see. Back to this, because if you speaking in general, that's cool too. You speaking to me out right now, don't know what you're saying. Brooks is the owner of Cars Direct, the business which was incorporated in Maryland State Department of Assessment, Taxation, etc., etc. Okay, the company was forfeited on October 1st, 2012, but subsequently revived during the coronavirus, and Brooks was listed as the resident agent. So back to when I was talking about if your business has not had activity for some time, well, if it does not have activity, I suggest file a zero tax return. You could do that. Now, what I will say is there's a possibility though. It exists to where your business did not have any, activity. You fell on hard times. You couldn't keep up with the upkeep of your business and maintain it. And then you get a loan and you looking up things to do. But there's some filing history and requirements in going with this loan. So, there's some upkeep in your paperwork and upkeep in your employees and all some other things. And I'm gonna tell y'all what too. If he said that he paid unemployment payments. So that's an expense that should have been filed on the tax return. So he didn't even need to file a zero tax return. He had actual expense to claim. But then the question would be where did income come from to pay out those expenses? So that's in his regards. But there are examples, there are businesses that exist, they didn't have activity for a few years. They had expenses, such as office upkeep, insurance, the lease of the office, and all kind of stuff. It's supplies, office expense, mileage, advertising fees. You got to keep your website up because you want activity to come in on your business. So there are some expenses. But I'm telling you, this is just the dark side of the PPP loan process. So if you have a question, you can contact me. If you have a question, definitely contact the source, the PPP loan people. I hate middlemen, so I don't want to be a middleman. But if you want to contact me, we can talk about it. But don't misread what's in the article and think it don't apply to you. And because your situation, everybody's tax situation is different. So what I'm going to say also right now, what I'm saying is, because it happens a lot, people compare their tax situation with other people's tax situations. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know, what applies for one person will not always apply for you. Even though the tax form's the same, it has the same lines when everybody gets it, some stuff just don't apply to you. And some stuff that this guy made apply to himself, he just gonna deal with it. There is more to this article. We're gonna go back to it right now. All right. Court papers allege that Brooks applied for the loan. We got that part. He allegedly submitted the returns and payments. Okay. Again, IRS records do not show any filings for any tax period. The affidavit against the pastor notes, which indicates that Cars Direct has not hired employees or paid unemployment taxes. The Maryland Department of Labor, the state level, also shows no record. A month earlier, Brooks allegedly submitted an application for an EIDL on behalf of Cars Direct, which contradicts the information and supporting documentation he submitted for his PPP loan. And this is another thing I saw in this article, which I want to talk about right now. When you have, be consistent with whatever you do. So then if it's something you got to fix, then you only got to fix it across the board. You ain't got to be like, oh, what did I tell you? It's like telling, it's a lie. It's a lie. When you lie, you got to remember your lie. When you tell the truth, then it ain't nothing to remember. But if you lying to the state, then you got to remember what you told the state. And then if he contradicting himself, his paperwork is trash because he should have record of the lie he told to the state. He couldn't even tell the same lie to the federal government. And then for yourself, though, keep your paperwork, because you might not remember what you told the state, but your stuff is legit. Just copy it over to the federal. Copy it to whoever needs to know your information. It's just copy and paste, run it through the copy machine, send it to them, take a picture, send it to them, email it to them, however, whatever. Another thing I'm saying also right now is keep not only your records, but keep like a spreadsheet. Keep a spreadsheet. So you have line items for each thing you're reporting, because that keeps you from going back later. Like say you have your receipts and you're looking through all your receipts and then you file them by category and then you put them in a shoebox. People do the shoeboxes still. And or you looking through your bank statements and you got January, you got a bunch of expenses in February, you got like a few in March, you got a load of them in May. Instead of going back through your bank statements, put those numbers in a spreadsheet, because it's possible that even on a receipt or a bank statement, you will overlook a line and you might later have to come back to it. And instead of recalculating all of it, it's in a spreadsheet and it'll calculate itself. Don't do hard work. Don't overwork yourself. Don't do that. So then in an event of an audit, because he got issues, and for purposes of saving yourself when it comes to an audit, be sure, do your best, your due diligence in keeping up with your records and tracking what you have. And one more thing for the record, because I mentioned his accountant a few times. I mentioned tax preparers. They are not responsible for what is on your tax return. I went over this in the broadcast. I don't remember which one, but at the bottom near where you sign, there is a whole statement that statement says that you are responsible and you acknowledge you're responsible. So you can't blame whoever prepared your tax return. You can, but it's not gonna fly. Keep up with y'all's paperwork. You got a business, and according to the IRS, you don't need actual receipts. You don't need your bank statements to refer to, because you know what? On your bank statements, there are transactions that look like ATM withdrawal. Who knows what you did with that cash? Where'd it go? You probably went to a flea market or a yard sale. They had some tires or something you needed for a vehicle, or some rims or something. They take cash. They didn't have no receipts. They just give you the rims. You can keep a log. The IRS allows you to keep a written log as a form of a receipt. So, you might lose a receipt, or your receipt, how receipts get old and they start to fade, right? Do best you can with it. But if the receipt just gone, it's gone. Put it in a written log. Keep a written log for your business. And this guy, I think this article about over with him. Let's look at it and see. I would like for everyone to know that, hold on, let me see what else this article say before I go that route. On the application, okay, this is just talking about some of his transactions, which we just talked about. We don't need to know. If you want, these articles is on the internet. If you want to read and look at what he said, his revenue and cost of goods sold was, you can check that out. Approved. He's listed as the sole signer on this loan application, so he's responsible. He later created several accounts in the name of Cars Direct in which he transferred the loans, as well as one he named payroll to give the appearance that it was associated with a payroll company. Okay. So he called himself covering his tracks, and the whole time he exposed and don't even realize he's exposed. He's not covering his tracks. He's opening the gate and the hole wider to fall his ass into. That's all he's doing. Just dumb on being irresponsible and being dumb. Period. Continuing. He initiated. Where are we at? The pastor. Okay, yeah, we're near the end of this article. Subsequently initiated numerous transfers. Records show the funds were used to cover personal expenses like credit card bills, purchases at restaurants, retail stores, grocery stores, automotive auctioneers. The funds were also used for mortgage payments on the pastor's home. Okay, I thought the congregation paid for the pastor's home. I don't know. I might be lying. Thou shalt not lie. All I know is, don't lie on your applications. Period. This guy facing 20 some years in jail. Don't do it to yourself. You too, Monique. I'm waiting on them to be dismantled as well. And I had peace as well. Peace, Queen. Peace, Monique Hill. My story in short, right quick, and we're gonna leave here in regards to tax. I started out, of course, systemized. I call it systemized. And one thing I know myself for sure is, with the IRS stating that your taxes should be filed. And it's such a big damn deal when you out here and you're grown and stuff. I think it's a big neglect on the system, but that's what they do. They're neglectful, and they set you up. I seen the phrase "set up" in here in the comments earlier. It's a setup. They don't teach this in school. They don't teach tax filings in school. If they do, they don't teach it like they teach algebra and social studies and all them other biology. You know, those classes just pop up. You can just if 3 of us get together and name high school classes, 99.9% of them gonna match. And maybe in that other percentage, somebody gonna mention tax class. You know, they don't do that. And so I'm systemized, and I took it upon myself to learn the tax system a little bit because it's ever changing. So it's not anything you're gonna ever know all of. It changes daily. And I'm gonna say that based on my experience at the IRS tax desk, it changes daily. There's updates. We had to go in the system and follow the updates and it don't even just change daily. Sometimes it'll change in the day again. And we have to, when we are when we are with the tax client with the tax, what is they call? What is y'all call? What they call them? Taxpayers on the phone. When we are advising them on the phone, when I did anyway, when I was there and I advised them on the phone, we had a system up that kept up with just all the updates on top of the stuff that we went to training for and the stuff that we know that kind of like stays the same. It's madness. It changes, but to have a good idea of the base, the root of it, if you're going to be a taxpayer in the system, it's important to know that. And I say that based on the people who are systemized. And I'm going to get rid of this because I'm done with him. The people who are systemized in the system then in turn have this fear of the IRS. Only because they lack the knowledge. There is nothing of the IRS to fear except what they threw in the media, and they want you to be scared of that boogeyman, that monster, the IRS. Again, right quick, I'm going to say, if the IRS is going to come for you and for your house, your items, and or you're going to face some jail time, you're going to know about it ahead of time. You either going to do stuff like Pastor Pork Chop and file some fraud shit, or you're going to get assigned a revenue officer, and your revenue officer, you're going to know them by name, all this other stuff. So if you don't go along with that, then you already know what they coming for. It's not no secret. It's not something that just pop up on you. And with that being said, there are a lot of scams out, and some of y'all got the calls. I know, because they call enough people. I know at least one of y'all in his comments and who's watching this broadcast has gotten a call from somebody saying that you owe an amount and they about to come to your door. They gonna send the police. That's not how they go. If somebody on your phone talking crazy, just hang up. If it's the IRS, they ain't gonna get mad and send the police at your door because you hung up on them. Hang up. Call the IRS directly and question them if you got any concerns. Don't be scared. Don't let fear throw you up under your bed hiding from the police who ain't never gonna come, because these people want your money. The scammers on the phone want your money. Don't do that. Call the IRS directly. So with, again, still piggybacking off Monique's comment right here, with me coming up under the system and learning some things and thinking this was the way of life, then I was on my path of working, got my accounting degree, worked at the IRS, H&R Block, et cetera, et cetera. And one reason I'm not at this, the main reason I left H&R Block is because my nature, my me, I'll get in something, but once I'm there, stuff ain't feeling right. So it has this way of expressing itself. And one way that it expressed itself was that they overcharge people. H&R Block, y'all overcharge people. And an example how they overcharge people is based on what people sit down at the tax desk and say. So, and or what information you hand over to them. You know, you got these forms, you hand it over. They'll select them in the program, and each form they select adds a price to your bill. When you in the interview and you conversate and you say, oh yeah, I've had child care, you don't even need the form. They're gonna select child care, and it's gonna add a price to your bill, an itemized line to your bill, and your bill gonna go up. Me in my time at H&R Block realized that, and so it got to where I didn't even select any items until I did a full interview and knew what the people was paying for. And then I taught my employee, the people up under me, my coworkers, because I was a manager at the time, the same thing. So the revenue in the office went down, and they was trying to figure out why. What happened to the revenue in the office? The numbers ain't as last year. Well, since last year, I realized y'all is overcharging people. So I deselect the items. If I happen to select them and find out the taxpayer don't need it, the client don't need it, and or I do a full interview first, then I select the items. I'm just saying, you work for H&R Block, you know what I'm talking about. Then I just told you something to do. So now you got to decide if you want to go in and deselect items and or do a full interview first before you start selecting and building up people's tax bill. Also, since then, I found out about the straw man, which somebody else in the comments mentioned. I'm familiar with the straw man. I'm familiar with trust law. I'm familiar with some things. And also what I'm familiar with is the people who's under the system, systemized, who's paying, who's getting W-2s, who's getting 1099s, who's filing the 1040, who's being compliant with the IRS. I also know that there's a way that we have to transfer from one to the other. There's a way that it must be done. And then as I talk to people one-on-one in the consultations, I talk to them about, going from the IRS, because you are not required to file tax returns. It's not a requirement. But there are things that lock you in to where it appears to you that it's a requirement. So there's some things you just have to stop doing. But people ain't ready to do them. People consider it a sacrifice. Oh, they gonna be without. Oh, then you just gonna keep believing that you gotta be required to file a tax return and pay the IRS, and or required to file a tax return and get a refund. That's like you selling yourself. You're selling yourself short. You selling your children short, because they're gonna learn what you're teaching them. Don't do that. My children all know what I know, so they know better. And they decide to do what they want to do. And my grandchildren will learn and will continue to learn. And then I'll continue to teach people what I know. And so then there will be a day that I fully know the transition from being systemized through the IRS, and then where you're not required to file, and the things you do instead with your life. And then I will be prepared to 100% come on the platform with that information. Right now, I'm still learning and I'm transitioning into that. And there's just some things I'm not willing to deal with in order to be facing some jail time, some prison time, because I did something wrong. And, when you know something, when I know something, I'm responsible. So I'm not about to share with anybody anything that I don't know for certain. And when I share with you and you have a question, I'm going to have an answer for you. If there's any possibility that I don't have an answer for you, then it's not something I'm going to give you information on yet. So yes, I come on the platform and I speak about IRS. I come on the platform and I speak about my tax business. And if you follow me on Facebook, you also know I have posts on tax law, not tax law, trust law, and posts related to the straw man, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm gonna be closing out here soon. I appreciate There's a lot of comments. Some caught my eye, some kind of threw me off, so I had to come out of here because Pastor Porkchop, his whole situation is like ridiculous. I mean, and then I'm known for busting up all lies. That ain't even no lie to bust up. The stuff he did is ridiculous. It was nothing to bust up. He's exposed, transparent. You see right through him. But he thought he was being slick. He thought he was sliding through. And he was feeling good when he was spending that money. He was feeling good when he got that check. He was feeling good spending that money. So yeah, it took me a minute to get a little fired, because the whole thing was like, this guy, I'm gonna skim this article because he's trash. It's trash. Again, though, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody being here. I appreciate the continued support, and Crumb TV is important. It's over here. Crumb TV is important. I appreciate my humble brother Crumb. I appreciate all of you being here. And of course, comment, like, share, subscribe. And I mentioned a few times about contacting me. If for some reason you have a question you want to talk, I seen questions, but my mind wasn't on that. My mind was on the crap. This nigga crap. This nigga crap right here that I said I was done with. Y'all know what? We talk about community and we talk about nation building and things like that. And I also myself talk about filtering through the niggas, filtering through them, just as the saying goes. All skin folk. Y'all know the rest. Don't we are responsible. You know what I mean? So be responsible when you sharing information. And when you're gonna be doing some stuff like this guy, Pastor Poison, Pastor Porkchop, Pastor Poison, don't spew your poison around other people. Don't do that. Keep that shit to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Because if some people don't have the full workings, and then they'll do the shit you did, and hey, just so have as it would be, they the ones that get caught up, not you. Ain't it something else? I'm telling you, don't do some stuff. Just don't do it. Anyway, I rambled a little bit and a little bit more throughout this broadcast, getting to and around the point. Now, okay, this is what I want to get to. Here's my contact information. You can contact me, and I'll talk to you. I give free consultations and to assist people in business consultation and tax consultation, free consultation. Also, there are events that will be taking place that I will be present at. I've heard Brother Crumb mention the events many times, and you can go to crumbtv.info/events. And I was not fully prepared because I don't have the flyers to show y'all, but the information's over there. And when it comes to, I mentioned speaking on community, it's important that we do things. That's why it's important that we do things for self so that we can do things to assist others, to assist them, not to bring them down. And with that being said, I just mentioned events. So there are a lot of community events occurring. For me personally, to sit up on the platform and chit chat with y'all and bring broadcasts, this is another reason I was kind of off today, because my mind is in the community portion of what I'm into, to bring to the Crumb TV community and for us to expand and reach out and get others into the community. So I have tour dates that I will be sharing on the platform soon. So you'll be able to also purchase those tickets at crumtv.info/events. And first stop on my tour, on the tour, because some I'll be at, some Brother Crumb will be at, some Brother Ponder will be at. Eric, will come in, and some others of us will be there. But I mentioned those two because we are working on this tour. We're the core group in working with this tour, this upcoming tour. So the first stop will be in Washington, D.C., and I have it right now scheduled to be for August. The plan was for it to be in July. I like to, as I said, not misdirect people. And Brother Crumb has mentioned to y'all, he is not to be a Pastor Porkchop. So he's not going to be reaching out to the same people. We're making an effort not only to expand the community, but not to have this church-like appearance. We're not going to do that. We're going to do what's necessary. And talking to the same people all the time and milking these people for their resources, that's not what community does. With that being said, I found that in schedule, reserving hotel rooms for the tour. I know that the further out the date is, the less that the rooms will cost. I know that's the less the airfare will cost. I know that's the less the car rentals will cost. So August, the middle of August, is the projected date of the first date stop on the tour. On that tour, we will have bikes. There's bikes we can rent. Some of the bikes you pedal, some of the bikes you don't have to pedal, they motorized. So we'll be doing that. And my focus is going to be on the literacy of our children. Brother Crumb talks about so many times how we don't read. And as the saying goes, if you want to hide something from one of us, you put it in a book. And from where I'm at in life right now, and my interaction with my grandchildren, and looking out in the world, and how I don't read, I don't watch TV and everything like that. Watching my grandchildren watch so much TV, they gotta have the Netflix on. They gotta have the YouTube on. No, you don't. When they with me, they don't. I don't even allow it. I don't have it. Reading is important to some degrees. And so I am on an effort to support the literacy levels in our community. And also I've mentioned, right quick, going off that path, I've mentioned that I'm making an effort to reach our children. I can sit and talk with us, this age group, all day. But changes, those are going to come by way of our children. So it's important that we connect with the children sooner, more sooner than later. And so I am in this effort asking that people donate books for our children, the community of our children in the Washington, D.C. area to read. I am teaming up with a cafe in that area and donating the books to be provided to the children of our community in the DC area. And when you, now everybody can't make the tour. So if you can get the books to me, I'll take them for you, or somebody who's going, give them the books, they'll take them. And with that, also you have a book, then I'll give you a calendar for free. You don't want the calendar, it's cool. You can take it gifted, and or in turn take the calendar and include it with your books that you're providing when we collect books to donate to the families. And there are some other things that'll be happening. I'm about to get off here because that's all for another day. But I really want to make an effort myself to focus less on Pastor Poison, pork chop type people, and focus more on our community. And I see Siba Ramotef Queb just got here in the room. I don't know where his comment went right quick, but he is here. Oh, you just got your calendar. Oh, Luis, you did it. Peace, Luis Gonzalez. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Peace, peace. I'm glad you got your calendar. You got any questions? Contact me. I got you. So yeah, Brother Crum mentioned the Bean. We'll be in the Bean July. So check out that event. There's also a event in June in Boston as well. It's all community minded. And this year we're also focused more on the children and what information, which knowledge they need to have for themselves. And so Siba Ramatef Queb will be there. I will be there. A few of us will be there. With that in mind, this was my point I was getting to. I will be back on the platform soon with Siba Patah Secret Sar, and he will be the one to bring firsthand to you the knowledge of the events in June and July that are going to be taking place in Boston. So I'll be back with that information, with that knowledge, with my Siba. And I have other things I'm coming to the platform with. So I'll be here. We got events going on. Busy, busy, busy in Crumb TV land. Crumb TV land. So we're going to remain busy. We are coming out into the community. And again, and then I'm get off here. For me to sit up here in this broadcast in this little square and talk to y'all, that's not who I am. And if you know me, anything about me, you've met me in person, is me sitting right here ain't it. I'm coming to where you at. A lot of the places, actually, all of the places on the tour are because people mentioned they wanted us to come out there. So if you want us to come to your area, we can't make it this year because the calendar is looking kind of full right now. Let us know, and we'll see about what we can do next year, or possibly something going on and we can fit it in this fraudulent Gregorian calendar year. All right. Peace, everyone. Again, I am here to you by way of Karmic Dynasty. I appreciate you all being here. I'm going to get this banner off of here, and then we out of here. Peace. Comment, like, share, subscribe. Come back next time. See you all. Peace.